Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we're about all things cinema. So I'm really excited about this review today. This is a review of a movie that I've known about for a long time, but I've never seen until just recently. I picked up the Criterion Collection release of Moonstruck, the 1987 film starring Cher and Nicolas Cage, directed by Norman Jewison. This is an absolutely fantastic film, and I'm glad that I finally had a chance to watch it. I have seen the movie poster, which is portrayed here in this Criterion art. I've seen this movie poster for a long time, and I knew that Cher won an Oscar for her role in this film and that this was a romantic comedy, but I've never watched this movie. I've never seen it before. The only thing I knew about it was that it was a romantic comedy with Cher and Nicolas Cage in it and that Cher won the Oscar. But I had no idea how awesome this film is until I saw it just the other night. This is a great film, and I'm glad that I finally had a chance to watch it. So when you look at the Criterion Collection edition of this film, it says on the back here, Moonstruck, a full moon, a New York City night, and love and music in the air. One of the most enchanting romantic comedies of all time assembles a flawless ensemble cast for a tender and boisterously funny look at a multi-generational Italian-American family in Brooklyn wrestling with the complexities of love and marriage at every stage of life. And that really perfectly encapsulates what this film is about. It's just a fantastic story that centers on Cher's character Loretta Castorini and her ultimate love affair with Nicolas Cage's character Ronnie Cammareri. And it's just so incredibly well written, based on a screenplay by playwright John Patrick Shanley. He wrote the screenplay for this film, and it is absolutely brilliant. The cast of characters in this film are really what make this film. This movie is really made by the characters in this film. All right, so many of you have seen this film. I don't need to go into an in-depth review of the film itself. The film is amazing. It's incredible. I'm kind of bummed that I haven't seen it before now, but I'm glad that I finally had a chance to see it. I mean, it is just an absolute stellar film, one of the greatest romantic comedies of all time, featuring Academy Award-winning performances by Cher and Olympia Dukakis. Nicolas Cage is great in this, Danny Aiello is great in this. The whole ensemble cast is absolutely amazing in this film. And of course, the wonderful operatic music score based upon the opera La Boheme from Puccini is featured in this film, and the music is a big part of this movie, and actually one of the characters, I think, of this film is the music in this film. The whole operatic music that's going on is one of the great characters in this film, but this is just a knockout film from 1987. I just hate that it's taken me this long to actually watch this movie. I've seen the original movie poster of this film that's portrayed here in this Criterion art here. I've seen that original poster many years, and I knew that Cher won an Oscar for her role in this film, and I knew that this was a romantic comedy and it was Cher and Nicolas Cage was in it, but I had absolutely no idea how good this movie is. This movie is amazing, and I'm just glad that I finally watched it the other night and that I own this edition on Criterion. So, great movie. Okay, so let's talk about the presentation of the film on Blu-ray. This is a new 4K digital restoration approved by director Norman Jewison, and it's got a 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack. So let's just cut to the chase. This film looks amazing on Blu-ray. Okay, this is a 4K digital restoration, and you can tell that the restoration work that Criterion has done here, the results are absolutely amazing. I mean, the colors really come to life in this film. I mean, the sharpness is there. This film looks absolutely incredible on Blu-ray. It's a 4K digital restoration, and I watched it on my 4K TV and played on my 4K Blu-ray player. It's not a 4K Ultra HD disc. It's a Blu-ray with the 4K digital restoration. And so my TV and my Blu-ray player up converts it to a near 4K image on the screen, and it just looks amazing on Blu-ray. It is an absolute stunner of a presentation that makes this 33-year-old film look a lot newer than 33 years old. I'm not going to say it looks like it was shot yesterday, but it's pretty darn close. I mean, some of the shots look absolutely amazing. Like, I remember some shots at the airport and in the streets of New York City where you see these yellow taxi cabs, and you're sitting here and you're looking at the yellow on the taxi cabs and you're thinking, man, that yellow looks like, that yellow really just pops. It just looks like it's like you can reach out and grab it and touch that taxi cab. You know, it looks that real and vivid and rich and just like it's there. I mean, it's like almost looking through a picture window is how good this picture looks on Blu-ray. So overall, this is a stunner of an image on Blu-ray, and I have to believe that this is the best that this film has ever looked. It's certainly on home video, and I think fans of this film probably couldn't be more pleased by how it looks. It looks absolutely incredible. So from an audio standpoint, the 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack sounds really good. I mean, it sounds great, which is really nice because of the fact that you have this wonderful soundtrack that accompanies this film that's based on an opera, the La Boheme, and you hear that operatic music throughout this picture, and this 5.1 soundtrack really brings that to life in a very rich way. And so it just sounds great. Of course, the dialogue in this film, which is another big part of this movie, with all of the characters and the banter between the various characters in this family, all that audio comes across really well, really clean, really clear. You can hear what everybody's saying really well as all of the ambient sounds going on around you. It's just an amazing, amazing soundtrack. So it looks good, it sounds good. From a presentation standpoint, I couldn't ask more from this disc from Criterion. They did an amazing job with the presentation of this film. All right, so let's talk about the supplements. And again, the supplements are where Criterion typically shines with a release like this. And given the stature of this film, there are some pretty high expectations of what Criterion should produce for a film like this. And I have to tell you that they do not disappoint based on the supplements on this disc. So there is a commentary on this disc, and I've said this many times before that a commentary is one of the best supplements on a disc. I love a commentary, especially a commentary that features the director. This commentary does feature the director Jewison, as well as actor Cher and screenwriter John Patrick Shanley. So doesn't include Nicolas Cage, but it does have Cher in it, and it also has the director and the screenplay writer. So that's fantastic. So great commentary. You also have a really nice introduction from 2013 that starts with Leonard Maltin at the AFI talking about the film, and then he introduces Cher. Cher then comes up, and then she really does a nice job recounting her experiences with the film and working with the actors and getting on board with the project, bringing Nick Cage on board with the project, and just all of her experiences working with all the actors and actresses, including Olympia Dukakis, who also won an Oscar for her role. And that was just a wonderful, wonderful talk from Cher. You have a new interview with Shanley, who wrote the screenplay, which is really good. You also have, and I think a really nice supplement on here is a new interview with scholar Stefano Albertini, and he talks about the opera in the film. So he talks about the opera La Boheme in the film, which was written by a guy named Puccini, and talks about the role of opera in the film. So I thought that was a really interesting supplement. And then you've got a number of other interviews with the actresses. Cher, you got Jewison, actor Nicolas Cage, Vincent Gardenia, who played Cher's Loretta's character's father in the film, Cosmo. And you've got Olympia Dukakis, who of course played Rose Castorini, Loretta's mother. And you've got other interviews with Danny Aiello, as well as other interviews with Shanley and various other folks. So overall, I think Criterion did a really nice job putting together a very nice supplemental package for this film. Of course, inside you've got a nice insert here, which tells you about the characters in the movie. Of course, here's the family. Very nice picture of the family, of course. You've got Cher and Nick Cage here. And of course, you see Nick Cage's character's Ronnie's wooden hand, which plays into the film. and a very nice insert that includes a nice little essay here called Life in the In-Between by Emily Vanderwerf in here as well, which gives her perspective on the film, and overall just some general information about the characters in the film, the cast and crew. So a very nice insert from Criterion. It's not a stapled booklet that I like to see, but it's a very nice fold-out insert that they include on the package. So overall, this is a fantastic edition from Criterion. Great presentation of a great movie and a very nice supplemental package. So I really couldn't ask for more from this release. I think this will be a fantastic seller for Criterion. It's just one of those mainstream titles that Criterion releases that I think a lot of people are going to be picking up, particularly during this Barnes & Noble Criterion sale. So yeah, great film, great release, highly recommended. All right, so there you have it. That's my review of the Criterion Collection release of the 1987 film Moonstruck, starring Cher and Nicolas Cage and directed by Norman Jewison. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of this review? What do you think of the movie? Have you seen the movie? What do you think of Moonstruck? What do you think of Cher's performance in the film? What do you think of Olympia Dukakis' performance in the film? Also, let me know in the comments below if you plan on picking up this release from the Criterion Collection, as well as what other releases from Criterion that you're planning to pick up as part of this Barnes & Noble sale. So let me know that in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time at the movies. Peace.